this video, we're going to install ROS2 Jazzy on Ubuntu 24. My name is Lamison and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to use ROS official installation guide for installing ROS2 on Ubuntu, and this is the definitely the most reliable guide to install ROS2 on your Ubuntu system. I'm using Ubuntu 24s and I'm going to install ROS2 Jazzy Jalisco, and because this is the most compatible version with the Ubuntu 24. But before I proceed with the documentation, I first want to make sure that my system is updated. So I do sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade and a -y for confirmation. Okay, now that I'm sure that my system is updated, I can clear the terminal and proceed with the documentation. Okay, the first thing that we have to set in our system is to make sure that our system locales are UTF-8. This is a very important requirement for ROS2 messages, so we have to make sure that they are UTF-8 and they are United States English locales. So I do enter the locale command. As you can see that my system locales are already the UTF-8 locales, but just to show it to you, do the next commands. If your locales are UTF-8 like mine, you can skip these commands and go to the next command. So in this line of command, it first updates the apt source packages lists, and then it installs the locales command. Okay. I enter this command. Since I have this package already installed, it just installed nothing. In your system it may be the same. Then I use locale-gen to generate the locale files in my system, and the en_us and en_us, that's UTF-8, are the locale files which will be generated. Okay. Then this line sets the default locale to US English and the UTF-8 encoding. So I copy, paste it here. Then this line sets the locale and language format for the current terminal that you are using, because the previous line needs log out and log in again to apply to your system. So to prevent this, because this will happen in your next logins, this export sets it for your current session that you're using. So okay. Then we should do the locale again to verify that the settings are applied. Okay. Yours should return something like this. In the next step, we have to enable the required repositories for ROS2 installation. As you know, to install a package using apt, you have to have the repository in your apt resources list. So most of the times we do it using add-app repository. The universe repository is a repository that contains many ROS2 packages that apt can install those packages using this repository. This is actually in most of the case is by default enabled in your Ubuntu system, but if it's not, we are just here trying to make sure that this is enabled in your system. And when we do apt update and apt upgrade, it actually uses the universe repository just like it uses the main repository of Ubuntu packages. So to use this adapt repository, we have to first install software properties common package. So this line installs it, but it probably already installed in your system. Yeah, as you can see that I have this installed in my system. Then I use the adapt repository to add the universe to my repository update list. It says that press enter to continue or Ctrl C to cancel. Of course, we want to continue, so we enter. Okay, after that, I added universe repository to my apt sources list. Later, when I update and upgrade my system, I also update and upgrade the ROS2 packages. So this is a very helpful step. To get the key, this documentation uses curl, which we explained in our previous video and installed it, but here it installs the curl again just to make sure that we have it. We can do it again here. Okay, and I have curl already installed in my system. Then it uses the curl to download the sources from this URL and then sets it to the ROS apt source version parameter. So I copy and paste it. Then it uses curl again to download a file from this URL with the same environment parameter that we set it in the previous command, and the Ubuntu code name and version code name, which are the parameters that I set it for my Ubuntu. And then it saves the file it downloaded in this directory with this name, so the apt can use this to download the packages I needed. So should enter this. Okay, the curl was successful. In the next line, it installs the .deb package, which is downloaded in the previous line, and which is the ROS2 repository setup package for our Ubuntu version. Installs it using dpkg. I copy and paste it. Next, we want to install development tools. It says that it's optional, but we're going to install it because it's useful and we will use it later. First, we should make sure that our apt sources include the Noble updates and Noble backports. So we should check this file here to make sure that our suits include Noble updates and Noble backports. So I copy this, paste it here. You can see that my suits has both Noble updates and Noble backports, but if yours doesn't have and it returns only the Noble or anything else, you can open this file here and add Noble updates and Noble backports to the file. I use Nano to open this file. You need to add the Noble updates and Noble backports over here in front of this suits, so this works correct. then push Ctrl plus S and then Control to save it, and then Ctrl X to exit. Then do apt clean and apt update and full upgrade to update those edited settings. I just skipped this because mine was fine, but you should do it if you edit your file. Then after this, I do an update and install ROS DevTools. Since I already have this installed in my system, nothing special happened, but if yours is not installed, this is going to take some time. Now that our system is ready, we can install ROS 2 in our system. This documentation does the sudo apt update and upgrade again, but since I did this just a minute ago and I didn't change or add anything new, I just skipped these 2 steps, but you can run them again. Then we have 2 options to install ROS in our system. One is the desktop version, which has some GUI tools like RVs and some demos and tutorials, and the other is the ROS base version, which is more lighter than the desktop version, but it doesn't have the GUI tools and the tutorials. I recommend the desktop version since you're a beginner and you want to see some tutorials, and RVs is a very useful tool to see the outcome of nodes and the topics that are being published. This is going to be very useful, so I recommend installing desktop version. So I copy this, and for me again, it was already installed, but for you it's gonna take some time. It will download and unpack, then you'll set up the packages in your system, so be patient. After that, installing ROS 2 is finished. We should source the setup.bash file in our system, so we can set up the ROS 2 environment and our system realizes ROS 2 commands. So I do this. Sourcing the setup.bash file with this command only applies the changes to this session that we have. If we open new terminal, it should be run again. To avoid this, like before, we want to add this line to our .bashrc file. So every time a new terminal is being opened, this command will be run, and your new terminal will also realize ROS 2 commands. So I again open my .bashrc file. If you are in other, just make sure that you add this tilde in to the first of the command, bashrc. Scroll down and add it to the bottom of your file. I just write a command that this is for ROS 2 and paste it here. Then Control S to save, and then Control X to exit. Now every time that I open a new terminal, the .bashrc file runs, and this command will be run in that terminal, and I don't need to source it every time that I open a new terminal. Okay, congratulations, you have now installed ROS 2 Jazzy on your system, and now you can run some examples. This example is the talker and listener example. We will run the talker node in one terminal and the listener in another terminal. Since we added this to our bashrc, as I said, you don't need to source this again. So just run this command in one terminal. Okay, if your ROS2 installed correctly, this node should start to run and print this hello world messages. I open another terminal and I don't have need to source it again because I have it in my bash RC, and then run the listener node. Okay, you can see that this works, so everything was fine. So you can see that this node is connected to this one. This is a publisher node which publishes this message, and this is a subscriber node which subscribe to the topic that this node is publishing. If I stop this publishing, this will also stop because nothing is being published, so this listener actually sees no topic. If I run this again, you can see that it again start to receiving and printing some messages. Okay, now you have ROS2 Jazzy installed on your system and you are ready to set up environment and do robotic projects with ROS2 in your own system. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.